we are, a train whistle for joke. Hello there, Master Hellish here, and welcome to our OpenTTD Mod Dev night here. We're going to jump in with some workshop stuff. We're going to do some coding. We're going to do some OpenTTD. We're going to see how it all goes. And, of course, Brandon's here. Brandon's here for Cake Day, of course. Yeah, Brandon, how's it going? You need something bird-related. Oh, my goodness. I'll try and think of something. I mean, I can't right now, but I'll try and think of something. Good evening. Hello, everybody, and welcome. We haven't got a countdown timer to gameplay because it's not that sort of live stream. But we do have our monthly giveaway on the go at the moment. It's 500 EVE Online Plex. So if you want to be within a chance of winning that, go to portal.masterhellish.net to take part. Now, our community gaming nights are on Monday nights over on the Variety channel. And tomorrow, because tomorrow's... No, not tomorrow. Tomorrow isn't Monday. My brain's just skipping the weekend, isn't it? After the weekend, on Monday, we will be starting a brand new Factorio server. So if you want to get involved with that, go to the Community Gaming Night channel on the Discord. There's a link to my Discord at the top and bottom of my website. It's on my link tree as well. And of course, the Master Hellish OpenTTD server is available for people to come along and take part, and the passwords are all in the appropriate channel on the Discord. And at the moment, it's a continuation from last night's birthday live stream. Yeah. Brandon thought it was Wednesday today. Yes, yes. Oh, and Egg's home. Oh, it's good to know you're home, Egg. Egg's been doing a bit of travelling. We saw Egg at the Hellish weekend. Egg, your order has been shipped today as well. I actually shipped 4 Hellish store orders today. It's been a busy day. But we're not necessarily here to talk about that. We're here to do some OpenTTD development. Now, in our past streams, we've had a little bit of problems of changing scenes, because normally I play a game, I'm there playing the game, and if I want to, I go to this view, and then maybe we go back to the game view, and then we come back again. Not a problem, but here we're actually switching between applications, between OpenTTD, Edge, which we use for browsing on this, and also for Visual Studio, VS Code. Sorry, not Visual Studio, VS Code, which is what we're using for our coding. Now, what I've done is I've reconfigured Touch Portal so that it brings the apps into focus. So I don't have to manually switch apps. I just use the Touch Portal, so it should change for you and me at the same time. Edge, yes, I wanted to use a separate browser for these sessions. So we've got the game script stuff and all that sort of thing. So in theory, if I press Edge now, right, it'll bring Edge to focus for me and you guys. And if I press VS Code, it'll bring VS Code into focus for me and you guys all at the same time. So that is absolutely fantastic. Now, last time we was doing some testing script here. Now, let me just obviously increase the size for you guys. There we go. That should be a little bit better. And we had this testing script. Now, this testing script is kind of a fork of Hello Tycoons, which is our first learning script. And we were looking at different ways of doing things. Ignore these. These are for others. That's for other stuff. There we go. So it's a testing script just to verify features in the API, how they work, and play around with it. We learned a bunch of stuff, and now we're going to start a brand new script, and we're going to do some sort of battle script, eh? Which will take some time. We're going to have quite a few sessions on it, and I want this one, well, ideally to be a collaboration. There's lots of moving parts of this one. It'd be nice if other people, if they want to, would get involved in this one as well. Yes. You run everything in Brave and you have Firefox for dev work. I mean, normally I just use Chrome and I have multiple profiles for Chrome. Chrome's brilliant for profiles. But I wanted to be able to switch to a completely different application on my Touch Portal. This seemed like the best way of doing it. Yeah. Joke says, your company from the birthday, so talking about the community server, somehow stayed under your profit on the graph, even though you left early. Yeah, we had an interesting time of it last time. All right, then. So let's start a brand new script, shall we? I can't remember what we're doing. Here we go. Right, yes. Brand new script. So let's take a copy of Hello Tycoons, I think. And we'll paste it in here. And we need to give it a name. Now, I want this to be like a battle royale, like, but not the kind of battle royale that Spiff did, where it was more of a business battle royale. This one's going to be more of a survival battle royale, okay? So I think battle royale is a good name, but I want to know what you guys think as well. This is going to be a little bit of a community effort. Hellish environment. That can be somewhat descriptive, eh? That is somewhat descriptive. But the idea of Battle Royale is like people get knocked out. Survival mode? Railroad Royale? Maybe. It's not just for railroads, though. OpenTTD Survival Mode. It's a bit more of a battle, though, because we're going to be having, like, events that kick off. So things can just, like EMPs can go off and stuff can explode and the world's going to get smaller and all of this sort of stuff. And there's... So... Chaos mode? Maybe. Earth Simulator. Hellish Survival. Is there a destruction word beginning with T for transport? I'm not quite sure why you would do that. Yeah. Naming things is hard, some people say. Rail Royale. Yeah. Hinkus Maximus says, I guess an OpenTTD Battle Royale would be like every X hours the 10 lowest profit companies get kicked. It's not necessarily going to be the 10 lowest profiting companies. It'd probably be the one most profiting company. Yeah, but it's going to be like that. Yeah. So what it'll do, it'll track to see if anybody's gone bankrupt. And if nobody's gone bankrupt, then it will eliminate somebody. But if somebody goes bankrupt, that's the elimination. Teardown, termination, trashing. Naming things is one of the biggest problems in computer science. I mean, what we name it here in the file doesn't necessarily mean that is what is going to be showed. So there's a lot of suggestions. What about instead of just Battle Royale, how about Hellish Battle Royale? Transport Teardown. Kind of like that. Yeah. Haphazard Hellish. I mean, it doesn't... Hellish Royale. You know what? That might be it. That might be it. Because I think this, right? Am I still high enough for my Zoom? I'm slouching in my chair a bit tonight because last night was a long night. And I was going to nap today and I didn't. That might be the most appropriate use of the word hellish we've ever had in our community. Hellish Royale. Yeah. Yeah, it's got a bit of branding on it. I think it's descriptive. It's got a little bit of uniqueness and some familiarity about it, and yeah. The game could have votes appears to which players something gets messed with. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think the most apt one we've got is Hellish Royale. I think so. So let's do that. Now, this isn't set in stone. We could always change the name of it before we release it, but it would be nice not to completely mess everything up. So we're going to go into the info. I'm the primary author. The name is going to be... Oh, no, we need to put Hellish in there. Oh, my goodness. Why has it gone... Why has it gone multi-line? I don't want this one to go multi-line. There we go. And we are going to obviously be able to add features, but there's going to be a lot of figuring things out, like disasters and stuff like that. Yeah. AI gets granted transport rights to random towns. Maybe transport rights and random towns and things like that, yeah. Is it possible for the chip script to change the station's rating? Well, let's go have a look at the API. Right, okay, so here we go. This is the documentation for the API. There's a cargo monitor. There is the ability to get tiles, towns, tunnels, viewports, signs, railroad. There's a league table and industry type, bridges and stuff. Then you can also, there's a bunch of data structures as well, like airport and bridges and cargo lists. I'm not sure if there's just like a station list by the looks of it. There's a load of event stuff there. Game settings, so we can even adjust the game settings potentially. I don't know how much of the game settings... Oh, hang on, let's have a look. Get value, set value. Yeah, so in theory, we might be able to do that. So, railroad, sign... Ah! Game script station. Is a valid station. Get station ID at a particular tile. So, get cargo waiting. Get car, get. There's loads of gets. Has cargo rating, so you can check whether there is a cargo rating for a given cargo. Is within town influence, has station type, get, is airport closed, open, close airport. So, no, you can't do that. But what you can do is you can find out what the rating is at the station, and you could make things happen depending on the rating, okay? Remove extra cargo waiting and reduce waiting. Did you just see that? I don't think so. No. There's a lot of information you can get from the station, right? But there's not a lot you can set. Okay. Okay, so if we head back to the code, we can answer questions and stuff. Let's make that slightly smaller. It was a little bit big, wasn't it? Should I be bottom right here? Because very often I think I'm covering up stuff, right? I think when I'm in VS Code, I should be bottom right. There we go. That's better. So do you have both attacks and buffs on people's stations? You get a little bit too far down the line with some of this, but it's some nice thoughts. What we're gonna have a bunch of events that can happen. Yeah. How would you make the bulldoze different each time? I'm not quite sure I understand the question, Brandon. Okay, so this one is going to be the Hellish Royale. So it's MHHR is the code I'm going to use. The get we'll leave the date in there. We'll leave the date as it is. Version needs to be 0. And the website, yeah, Hellish Royale. Oh my goodness, I can't type tonight. Coming soon. There we go. You have no idea what is possible. You just have ideas. Yeah. See, that is part of the problem, isn't it? You need to be able to kind of know what you can and can't do. the API is a brilliant place to be able to find out the possible options. So if you can learn to at least navigate this document, then you can, even if you don't know how to code, you can go, oh look, there's an object called subsidy, and in subsidy there's a thing that says it is called create. So, oh, you can create subsidies. And you might not know anything about coding, but just looking at this document, oh, there's something called subsidy, and you can create inside there. So you can create subsidies, you know. Brandon says, blue zone, not bulldoze. Oh, how would you make the blue zone different each time? So instead of like having a blue zone, to me the blue zone is going to be the water. And I think I'm going to try and make it so we do reduce the land. And the land reduction comes in and in and in throughout the course of the game. Yeah. So, but of course, if you were doing it on a proper map, you'd have the most lucrative stuff around the outside, I think. Otherwise, everybody would just set up in the middle and stay there, right? Brandon says, it's a shame we can't have random vehicle unlocks for people. We can. We can have random vehicle unlocks. I'm pretty sure anyway. If you go into data structures, there is an engines, I think, engine list. So you can get a list of engines. And with the engines... Oh, what was it? There was something you could do. Game script engine. Yeah, so you can do is buildable. That checks whether it's buildable. Let's have a look. Yeah, enable for company, right? So you can actually just do random vehicle unlocks for people. So Gerard says, so random vehicle unlock on completing a subsidy. Exactly. Or you complete a subsidy and you get a cash injection. Like maybe you get £1 million. In some endgame battle royales, the ending zone can be on the edges rather than the center. That is true. Any idea how hard it'd be to code a script to copy and paste whole junctions and stations? I'm trying to think if it's even possible. I mean, you can interrogate tiles, and you can do actions like a company, like an AI. So it might be possible, but I'd probably just let that one go. I think it's probably way too hard, way too finicky, and there would be so many edge cases that would be just falling apart. Yeah. Yeah. What patch? Oh, apparently there is. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that might be a feature in the JGR patch pack, but I'm not 100% sure. I think there is a blueprint thing. Yeah. Set a goal, and if a company completes it, it'll get a reward. Yes, exactly. So, oh, did I press the button? There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in here, we're going to add a new file, and it's going to be plans, right? And we're going to just create a plans list. So there's going to be events, quests, and rewards. I'm not sure if the events are disasters and things like that, yeah. What do subsidies do in vanilla? In vanilla, subsidies pay more for a certain amount of time, depending on your game settings. I think they pay... I think by default, they pay double. For a year. Oh, is it in the City Mania client? It might be in the City Mania client rather than the JGR patch pack. Yeah. So, you could have events that cause planes in the middle to break down or just crash. I'm not sure we can just crash vehicles, right? But what we can do is we can stop and start vehicles, right? So what we can do is we can say, we can do like an EMP, and we can like stop vehicles. Stop vehicles. Yeah, we can stop all vehicles. And that can be like an EMP. Or we can have like a missile strike or bombardment. And that can just like blow stuff up in an area. Yeah? But that one's relatively straightforward to do. Checksuit Kids says, remember, we can have functions as separate files. If you link them in the main one and call them, yeah, we'll definitely do like separation of responsibilities in this particular script. It's big enough to worry about that, yeah. And then I had some ideas for more events, but I can't remember it. Now, quests. This, I think we're going to do... we might use the subsidy system. Subsidies. Right? But also, like... we... in the new version, in version 15, we can do, like, kill counts. Too. Like, we can track how many people die in vehicles. So maybe we can do something like that. Hinkers Maximus, can you create lake/evil fish? We could potentially put evil fish in it. There is already an evil fish death tracker, look. There's an evil fish death tracker script. Okay, it's a fun script which displays a news article each year with the number of evil fish which have been killed by bombing river tiles. So the idea is you build your company up and you bomb as many river tiles as possible until you've killed all of the fish. This already exists. It's a fantastic little thing. It was created by Cookie. Get small amounts of money for evil fish. Well, one of the things I was thinking was, let's have a look. Where's it gone? Plans. So what we can do is in the quests, we could. One of the things we could do is like a timed like quest, and then like that timed quest gives points, and then at the end, like, we can have a league table, and then that league table shows you who's winning, and then the winners gets a reward. Right? So we can have things like that in the quests. So maybe there can be different sorts of quests. Maybe a quest could be a subsidy. Right? And we can have like league table quests with like a timed quest. And rewards can be like vehicles. It can be money. Unlock vehicles. Don't worry about the spelling on this page, folks. As long as you can understand it, we don't care. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Industry. Set exclusive consumer to disable industry. Oh, that's nowhere near money. There we go. Money. Yes. So we unlock vehicles. And the idea is that we'll separate this stuff out and we'll maybe work on it separately and bring it together. I've got a funny feeling tonight there's not going to be a massive amount of coding. Oh, I just remembered another event. We can have Earthquake. We can have earthquakes. So like the screen shakes. And some things get blown up. but not as bad as like Missile Strike, where everything gets blown up. Yeah. League table can also be used to reward the player that has completed the largest amounts of quests in a given time, i.e. 5 years. I mean, you could use a league table to track like who's winning on the quest side of things. Maybe there needs to be like a master league table that shows who's currently in the lead of everything. But presumably, oh, like oh, you need fail condition. Right, the fail conditions are obviously. Hang on, let's see. Can we do a? Oh yes, I like these little arrows. Let's put some of these little arrows in here. There we go. So the fail condition would be like you go bankrupt, or you come last at like some checkpoint. Or you're in last place at elimination time. Yeah. The Master Hellish Masters League table, yeah. Gerard says, I wonder if there's something you can do with signs, such as a player gets a missile as a reward, and you can launch it somewhere with a sign. Gerard. I like that. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Rewards. Right. Tell you what we'll do. Right. We'll give a missile strike as a reward, and that is yeah. But we'll change missile strike to bombardment. Which is so a missile will strike like will be like, oh, one thing gets blown up, but a bombardment would be like several things come down in a random event. This is why I'm doing this with you guys. Yes. Oh yes. Can we launch UFOs? I don't think we can do UFOs like artillery. Yeah, on artillery and bombardment. Yeah. What I'll do is at some point I'll just give this entire list to ChatGPT and be like, just spell check this. Yeah. That's good. Right. The MP can stop vehicles. Yeah. That's a relatively soft one. But we can have some sort of timed quests where we could use a lead table. Yeah, I like that. I like these different rewards. Like you get a missile strike to like launch at somebody else. That's brilliant. Sinkholes. The problem is, I mean, that's a nice idea, but to actually implement it would be a bit of a pain because you have to remove whatever's on the surface before you dig a hole. Otherwise, the hole doesn't dig. Can you choose someone's industry to explode? Let's have a look at the industry stuff, actually. That's something I wanted to have a look at. So, if we go to cargo company, it'd be industry, right? Industry, here we go. What can we do to industries? Well, we can get a count of them. We can get the name of an industry. We can get its construction date. Set some text. Set the custom text of an industry to show in the GUI. So we could actually set some text in there. Find out if cargo is accepted and get the stockpile of cargo and the production. So one of the quests could be produce as much cargo or get industry ID, cargo type. I was going to say the production, right? But then that's going to be... It's not going to be for one particular company, right? It's just going to be for that thing. Or what you could do is say, oh, right, if this industry doesn't produce more than X amount, like everybody dies. Yeah. Not so much to explode or shut down. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look. So we can get transported percentages, get its location, get the amount of stations around it. Find out if it's built on water, whether it's got a heliport or a dock. We can get its type and the production. We can get, let's have a look. We can set an exclusive supplier. Right, so we can set or reset a company that has exclusive rights to deliver cargo to an industry. And there's an exclusive consumer as well, right? So what we can do is we can give people industries. That industry is now exclusively yours. Set exclusive supplier, set exclusive consumer. Oh, we can actually set production levels as well. Yeah, look at the set functions. I was getting there. Yeah. To keep in mind, I think it's good to have like a Mario Kart mentality. What? Like the best attacks can only be possible for those who are last. Yeah. Maybe we can put something in so like the further down the table you are, the more likely you are to have stronger stuff. But I don't think we can force them to shut down, but you can set their productivity and change that. But we can certainly make them exclusive. Like you can actually give somebody an industry. So a reward, it could be an industry. Exclusive industry. That one I think would, oh look, you've now got this steel mill. And I'm not sure if we can build them though. Right? I'm not sure if we can build them. That might be somewhere else. Not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. So if we can build industries, then what's this infrastructure? Get rail piece count, get road piece count, get monthly rail costs. Yeah, okay. There's loads of things we can do on the map, like get the size and the distance and stuff like that, but I don't really care about most of that. Tiles? What can we do with tiles? We can... Oh my goodness. Where is it? Get the build costs, get cargo acceptance, production distance, get the owner of a tile. Can we change the owner of a tile? Is buildable, build rectangle, is coast, we're finding out things. Whether it's a sea tile, a snow tile, and all that sort of thing. Whether it's a water tile, we can do the level tile, and lower tile. Planting trees, obviously we can do planting trees is great. No, we can't change the owner of a tile, I don't think. Which is a little bit of a shame, because that'd be quite nice. What? Order. Oh, that'd be cruel, wouldn't it? Just to go into the orders and mess it up. Append order. Appends an order to the end of the vehicles list. Insert order. Remove order. Removes an order from the vehicles. Oh my goodness. Imagine going in and removing a random order from a random vehicle. That would be harsh. But let's add that as something to consider. I think that would be potentially really good as part of the EMP, because you're messing with the vehicles. Like, imagine if your vehicles stop and then it's got like a random order removed. Sorry, all the papers got wet and your driver got lost. I think that would be really good for the EMP. Yeah. This API is for AI? Really? We've been just using it for scripts. No, this is the game script API, I think, Adrian. Yeah. Move order copies, unshare and share, get order distance. Okay. Town. That's the one I wanted to look at. Let's see what stuff we've got in towns. So we can count the towns, get their names, and set the names. Setting the names could be quite cool. Feels orientated to AI. It does. Yeah, there's some things in here that really feels orientated to it. But have you got a link to the API? I did do a link. I did paste it not long ago. EMP is great. Sets the vehicle damage reliability to 0. I don't know if we can do that, but we'll have a look. We'll have a look. So we're looking at towns now. We can get all sorts of things. We can set a cargo goal for a town. But that will be for all companies, right? So cargo goals on towns are potential. Okay, we can do a growth rate. We can find out if it has a statue. And that's for the current company. So you'd have to switch between the... Oh, hang on, you're not seeing this. Sorry, folks. I did it the other way. So it says it has a statue, and you can do it for the current company. So you'd have to switch through the companies to find out if it has a statue for the one you want. But... Perform town action. Yeah, you can buy exclusive transport rights and you can bribe them and build statues. But presumably that would be if we go perform town action. Where is it? That would be when you're in company mode. So the script needs to be in company mode to be able to do one of those actions, which I want to try and avoid because then it just takes the money out of their bank balance straight away. Although you could put the money in their account, do the action immediately. Change the rating. Yes. We can change ratings of towns. And it looks like it's done with a delta. So that could be a good one. Funding towns? Maybe. Expand a town. You could have a town that grows crazy. Right? And just keeps growing. And expanding and expanding. And some sort of like town explosion. Like some sort of town explode, like growth. Like maybe the town gets like a town growth explosion with the expand town function, maybe. You could have a super growth town be a disaster. Yeah, like just starts growing crazily. Yeah. For the company, we can change the bank balance or min-max loan amount. Yes. That's how we can, like, give them money as a reward. Like, we just put money in the bank. Yeah. Yeah. What else have we got? Let's go back. So I've just added that in up here. Really, really badly spelt. And then there is the change rating. So what we can do is we could make it so every single town hates every single company. Like let's put possible stuffs, and then like this is like the town's change rating. Expend towns probably works like the scenario editor. Yeah, I think it does. Imagine if you just could just do that though, so the towns just start sprawling and growing, and you can't build around them, and you have to delete things and stuff. But change the rating of a town. That could be good. Yeah. What about an earthquake disaster? Yeah, we've got one of them. I mean, it's very poorly spelt, but the idea is that the screen shakes and some things get blown up. Yeah. We can shake the screen. We did that last time. Yeah. You could also change how much auto renewals cost per company. That sounds like a very small fine-tuning thing. Obviously, we can use signs and the story page. We can use the league table and things like that. Oh yeah, we don't want the logs no good. Obviously, we can use the news ticker to pop that up. We could do it so that if somebody has... What events are there? Let's have a look. What events are there? Here we go. Let's have a look, because these might give us a good idea of something to do as well. So when subsidies are offered, that's fine. Subsidies expired. Subsidy awarded, obviously that'd be like completing a subsidy quest. And then there is... I suppose company in trouble and mergers could be interesting. And obviously we need to know when a company goes bankrupt. But if a vehicle is crashed or lost, right, we could like penalize the company, right? So possible stuffs like event crash / lost, right? Flipping a one-way signal would be devious. I think that's going to be a little bit too granular, but maybe that's something we could look at. Could you find the coordinates of a station? Like when you press the button in the game and see in a station pickup area. Yeah, the game has a coordinate system, yeah. And you can go train crash equals -1 million. Exactly. Yeah, that can be a penalty. Like, we could have a quest which could be... There could even be a quest, like crash a vehicle. And the first person to crash a vehicle maybe gets some money or something. And we could then, like, use the event for the crash to sort that out. I mean, I don't think I like that event, but it's that quest, but it's a possible one. Have a crash. It's a potential. I think all of these things are possible, right? Let's have a look. Engine available, station first vehicle, Zeppelin crash, town funded, aircraft distance too far, clicks, go global question answered. We could actually do questions and answers as well. Yeah. Maybe not flip the switch. Destroy it like it got damaged. Get some crashes, yeah. Yeah, Zeppelin crash. There's GRFs with Zeppelins, yeah. Road reconstruction. You could do road reconstruction, Brandon, but the problem is that it's a company function. So you'd have to act as that company. Oh, is there more? No, there isn't more. So, we could actually do questions and answers, like... Yeah. Yeah, but if they set everything up right, it'll just be flip back the train. Potentially, but like you don't know when that event's going to come up, or even if it is going to come up. And you don't know what other people have done. What if someone was making a natural disasters mod right now alongside this? Well, you never know, eh? You never know. We've got a lot of stuff to already work with, right? I'm not sure how the quests are going to work. We're probably going to have to use the storybook for that, right? To kind of... I mean, I don't know how the storybook works. We haven't used the storybook yet. That's something we're going to have to look into, I think. Pike Sisters, like, I need to get out of this disturbing habit of being late. Yeah, if you don't want to miss the beginning of streams, then yes, that is the case. Right, where are we? We are looking at possible things we can do. Groups. I don't think we can really do too much with groups. Although, you could potentially create a group and then set the colours so the vehicle changes colours. Move vehicle, group ID. Yeah. So in theory, you could do that. Story pages can be global or company specific, it looks like. Yeah, they can be. Some scripts only use global stuff and some only use company specific. This is interesting then in the vehicles section. This is the group for the vehicles. So in theory we can get the profits and stuff. Yeah, sorry, excuse me, I'm right-eyed. We can set the color of vehicles and like change them and stuff. Yeah. We've just got a super chat come in. Let's check that. And thank you very much for the super chat. Get some O2. Yeah, why not? That sounds like a plan. Maybe not right now, but at some point very soon. Real Monkey Evening over there on Twitch. So there's even a possibility with groups. I'm looking for like the ways that things can be messed with, things that can be set, you know. Infrastructure maps, marine, so that's like the ship stuff. Is it water tile? Is it buoy, canal? You can build stuff, presumably build buoy. That is requires, yeah, company mode is a precondition. Disco changed its color scheme for the companies. There is actually a rainbow. If we go back here, right? If you look in the list, there's a script called Rainbow Company. So this already exists. It's a script that cycles through the colors of the first company roughly in the order of the rainbow. So it's a bit of a disco script there, which I think is quite cool. That one was made by DJ Egg. Yeah. Yeah, there's not much here that we could probably do in terms of building water depots, and because it's all company mode stuff, and I wanna probably avoid that. Obviously, we can do stuff with signs. We can build a sign. We can say whatever we want in the sign and remove it. Tunnels and towns, we've looked at that. Viewports, we looked at that as well. I think we're pretty much on the edge of everything. Can you make modifications in Rust? Are you talking about the game Rust? Or the programming language Rust? Or something else? I need more information to be able to answer your question. We can get the owner of a vehicle, that's fine as well.
New viewer plus subscriber. Fantastic.
Oh, fantastic. Attila the Hun with, is that 38 months? Fantastic, brilliant. Rust language. No. No, the language required for making scripts in OpenTTD, and as far as I'm aware, the only option is squirrel, which is why the files are .nut. Now, if there was something else that required Rust, maybe we could do some Rust. But no, we're doing OpenTTD Mod Dev, and it's all done in Squirrel. Right. We can see whether vehicles are in depots or not, and whether it's stopped in a depot. Can we send vehicles to depots? Oh, we can send all the vehicles to depots. Ooh. I wonder what... Oh, and reverse vehicles? Oh my goodness, you can reverse vehicles. Okay, so for the EMP, we could do a mixture. Like, some of them can get an order deleted, some of them can get stopped, some of them can get reversed, some of them can get sent to depot. Yes, that is going to potentially be great fun. So, come on. There we go. So, remove order, reverse vehicle, and what was the other one? Send vehicle to depot. Oh, the EMP is coming along quite nicely as a good option. That needs company mode. That's fine. That sort of... If it doesn't cost money, I don't mind using company mode, right? So send vehicle to depot, company mode. We just switch into company mode. We do it and go back again. Set some reliability to 0. I'm not sure we can do that. Let's have a look. Oh, get reliability. You can get the reliability, but you can't set the reliability by the looks of it. Cell wagon, chain refit. No, you can't set the reliability. That'd be nice to do. Yeah, I don't. So company mode, the things that cost money, we want to try and avoid, I think. Yeah. We might need a disaster company with infinite money on it to do stuff. That is true, Brandon. We might need that, but we'll see. Can you force an engine to crash? I don't necessarily think so, but there is one that makes vehicles turn around. There is reverse vehicle, so that is a possibility. Yeah. Oh, you mean like break down? No, I don't think you can force... I don't think there's anything in the API to make a vehicle break down, which is unfortunate, but we will work with what we have. There's some tunnels, which is fine. It'd be nice if... We can't just, like, delete a tunnel. But I think we've managed to gather pretty much all the things that we can play around with. Accounting, costs, admin, we don't want that. Airports, get the price, get the width, number of hangars, remove, noise levels. I'm not sure there's really much that needs. There's a class for all stations and waypoints, apparently, where you can set the name and get the location, but setting the name is no biggie. Bridges and cargo. I don't think we do too much on the cargo side of things. There we go. Yeah, nothing that interesting there. We can do on cargo monitor, though. We could be like, oh, see how much cargo gets delivered to this particular place, right? Because there's industry delivered amount and there's town delivered amount. And we've actually got a cargo tracker. Yeah. Bird strike, shut down airport for X amount of time. I mean, you can. I think you can switch an airport to close, but the problem is there's nothing stopping the company from changing it back again. Can you change maintenance costs? I don't think so. I think you'd be looking like a new GRF to change that sort of thing. We're just working with scripts right now. In theory, this script could have a GRF that it is paired with, and the script should check to make sure the GRF is installed. That's possible. What was we just talking about? Because I had an idea. Engine crash, station, getting the names, cargo. Oh yeah, deliver cargo objectives. That was it. So on the quests, we've got time quests, subsidies. Time quests, that could potentially be like deliver cargo. Can I... There we are. I'm not sure about necessarily timed quests, but it could be like the first to deliver X cargo to a particular... to Y. Yeah, I'm not sure. Could use points and league table. Yeah, let's just have that as a note. So they could be timed or not. Obviously, deliver X cargo to Y. Do a subsidy. Have a crash. For airports, you can only build and remove. Okay. Certainly some interesting things coming up, right? There we go. We don't want that. Right. Let's have another look in the company information because this one's good. This one's a good one. So we can find out whether a company is mine or not. Set the name, president name, loan amount. So we can, like, instead of giving them money, we can give them more loan or less loan. Yeah, that could be something. So as a reward, instead of money, it could be money / loan. Get bank balance, change bank balance. Yeah, that's giving them money, isn't it? And get their quarterly income and stuff. You can fight. You can build the company HQ and get it. I'm not sure how the company HQ could potentially play into this, but we could certainly have a look. Auto renew statuses, and that's about it. Obviously, you can play around with the colors. Is it possible to make a new GRF just to add menus and buttons to all the script functions? I don't think I've seen a GRF add menus and buttons. No. We can have buttons. There are various different things you can do. For example, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure you could create a league table with the name of a list of stations, and then when somebody clicks on that list or that particular entry in the list, you can do something. No, I don't think you can actually. Oh no, can you do something? You get more subsidies to the town where your HQ stands. That could be something. Yeah. We could definitely do something with the HQ, right? Maybe your HQ gives you invulnerability in a zone. So, like, if there is artillery bombardment or an EMP, it doesn't happen in that particular place. If your HQ dies, you lose. No. Oh, sorry. I'm just typing notes. Look, there you go. Something with the HQ, maybe an invulnerable zone. So, like, an area around the HQ is safe. Yeah. And obviously, there needs to be like a master objective, right? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Right. So the objective is like last company standing. and like there is going to be ways that people can like get ejected, and I think like like last company standing, right? And then we got fail conditions like you go bankrupt or you're in last place at elimination time. Jared says maybe your HQ has to be in a random line, as if you were jumping from a plane. Not sure why, but maybe it's where your first station has to be. Ooh. Maybe your HQ upgrades in size. We don't have control of the size of the HQ as far as I'm aware. I mean, we can have a look at the. I don't know if there's anything to do with the HQ actually. There's no search function in here that I'm aware of. Detail level 5. Detail level 1. 2. 3. Oh, I see that. Okay. So road construction, transport rights. What we could potentially do. Like if you buy exclusive transport rights for a town, we could have a question pops up and it'll be like, say, do you want to pay X amount of money to eliminate your nearby competitors or something like that? We can't. I don't think we can change the size of the HQ. I think that's like kind of something that's fixed. Find HQ. Is there anything for HQ? Nothing for HQ there. So we'd have to go down into the company and then find HQ. And you can see we can build it. We can get it. And what else? There are some other things to do with the HQ. Oh, no. Build. And down here, right, is the get. So that's all we can do. How do we blow up stuff? You can blow stuff up. There is a function to blow stuff up. You can't blow up industries, and you can't blow up things like antennas. But you can blow up buildings, and you can't blow up company roads and things. But we can like blow trees up and farmland, and yeah. Can you make giving a certain amount of money to a competitor makes you immune from that player? Maybe. Yeah, maybe there's stuff like that you could do. What's that for the safe zone, Brandon? I don't quite get what you were saying, I'm afraid. What's this? Okay, it seems rather off topic. Return location of the HQ would be good for a safe zone. Yeah. Yeah. So it's making like a safe zone around the HQ. I think what did I put in my notes? Invulnerable zone. So we'll put invulnerable/safe. So invulnerable/safe zone. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Obviously, we can mess around with company names and stuff, and we've already made notes of the loan. Oh, we've got a new channel membership. Thank you very much for becoming a channel member. Your name will pop up on the screen. There it is. There it will be. Welcome to channel memberships. We have 3 levels of memberships, and we've got quite a few channel members now. They're all people are coming along to get involved. So thank you everybody for the support. Right. Yeah, I'm not sure there's anything else in the company information or anything like that. Date functions. Date. Get year, get month, get day of month, get date. Get system time. That's different. Engines and dates, events. Obviously, the events can be quite good. You can build and remove bridges. So could do something with like building a random bridge and remove one as punishment, perhaps? Maybe, but I think that needs company mode as well for that sort of building and stuff. Bridge list, cargo list, engine list, groups. Rail types, sign lists. Obviously we got the was it infrastructure? Yeah, well, there's nothing we can do with infrastructure. It's pretty pointless for us, unfortunately. Okay. Yep. Priority queue, railroad, sign, story page. Obviously, on the story page, I think there's a button thing. Okay, let's have a look. Valid story page, new element, update element. With sorting, we can get the company. Update tile of a story page. I'm not sure what that is. Obviously, we need to look into story pages a little bit more. There we go. Make push button reference. Create a reference value for the push button element parameters. That's weird. Yeah, we need to know more about the story page. There they are. Class that handles the story page related functions to create a page, The page elements that will be appended to the page in the order which they are created. Fair enough. Pages can either global or company specific, which we found out previously, and it's possible to mix. Okay. But the only mixed solution that will work is to have all global pages first. Okay. Once you create the first company-specific page, it is not recommended to add additional global pages unless you first clear up all the pages. Oh my goodness, right, okay. Page elements are stacked vertically on the page. If a goal elements are used, the element will become empty if the goal is removed while the page exists. Instead of removing the goal, you can mark it as complete, and the storybook will show the goal as completed. Okay. So I think the storybook would be great for quests. Yeah. And obviously there's lots of different sorts of quests we can do. I think some of the quests we've made a good list on already. Like deliver cargo, amount of cargo to a particular location, do a subsidy. You could do potentially build statue of company owner, or build statue. Especially early on, building a statue in a particular location can be pretty tough because it can be very expensive. So that could be a quest, like, oh, you must build a statue in this particular town. And what we can do, actually, we do have the ability to modify the town rating. Right, we can change the rating, so we can make it so we could make it so that the town has a really poor rating unless you put the statue of the company owner in, and then the town rating improves as well, or something along those lines. But what we'd have to do is check the town on a relatively regular basis to see if it has actually had a statue put in it. Okay, some good thinking there, folks. Any more for any more? Anybody got any ideas? I think we are starting to get to some of the limits of the things that we can do in this theme with the tools that are available to us. Just realised we've got this README and it's not going to be correct. So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's see how it works. No, we don't want that. What's it for? We'll fill that in later. Installation. I'm going to leave the text there. but that'll obviously need updating. Right. There we go. The README is now updated as well. There's a lot of plans there. A lot of different events. We're going to have a list of possible events and things like that. How would we store missiles? Oh, that's an interesting thing. We can give people more resources based on the amount of things that are produced. Could we also do it so that there's maybe less and less vehicles available? I mean, obviously, if you have 500 vehicles and you change the number of vehicles to 400, that doesn't just magically delete vehicles, right? Could we store missiles? You just have a league table with, like, the number of missiles that people have got. I don't see... Or do you mean, like, the missiles are, like, stored in secret locations and you unlock them by finding them somehow? Maybe. Maybe if an aircraft... I was going to say, maybe if an aircraft flies over a location, but... Yeah. You meant store in the player file. Oh, you mean like in the background? Like, keep a note of how many missiles each company has? Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, just be a variable, like Gerard just said. Yeah, no problem at all. I think we've got some interesting stuff coming in here. I like the idea of having missiles, yeah. We could put it in a table as well if we wanted it available for other people to see. What other things apart from like missiles could we have? I mean, obviously we can blow certain things up. I don't think we can like get rid of industries, right? Let me have a look on the industry stuff. Where is industries? Industry, yeah. What we can't do much to industries. We can get loads of information. There's control flags. I don't know what that is. Let's have a look. Change the control flag for an industry. Flags as a combination industry. What? I don't know what that is. I don't know what the control flag is. You can get a missile if you put X cargo in the factory. Exactly. Maybe like you... This is where it starts to become paired with the new GRF. Maybe we could like have a missile factory instead of a factory. And yeah. Set exclusive to admin company. Exclusive supplier, and yeah, we've got that in the list already, I think. Like, as a reward, you could get an exclusive industry. Right. But I'm just trying to look to see if there's anything else you can do. And I don't think there really is. Yeah. Really low production missile factory. I mean, what you could do is, like, say, every 10,000 goods you make, you get a missile. And then you can use the missile. The only problem is here, I would love to be able to open and close industries, but you can't. It really looks like you can't. Is cargo accepted? Get the stockpile, production, location, the amount of stations, whether it's built on water or not, whether it's got a dock, the type of industry that it is, and its production last year. I don't know what the control flags are, but that... Oh, you can set the production level. So what you could do is just absolutely smash the production level up for a bit, maybe. Close industries set exclusively to admin. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you could just set exclusive consumer to something that's, let's see, parameters industry ID. Hang on a minute, what's this? Find out, oh no, that's get exclusive consumer. So set exclusive, so you need the company ID. And you can reset it with company invalid. Factories producing missiles. Exactly, Fran the Man. But instead of having a new GRF that changes the factories to produce missiles, what I was going to say is like every 10,000 cargo or whatever, you get granted a missile or something along those lines. Yeah. So, yeah. A mission to get the best rating in a particular town after X years will get will grant a missile. Yeah, get best rating. So yeah, that's something we can look at. So if we have a look at the towns, we can go down to here, you get the location and production and total cargo and stuff and growth rates. Check for statues and do rebuild durations and stuff like that. What do you say? Rating. Get rating, yeah. So you can get the rating of a town for each company. These missiles are going to be made out of grain and livestock then. Maybe. Maybe, like, it's a favor. So you produce the goods, you get granted a missile. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean the missiles are made at the factories. But yeah, we can certainly get a rating for a town. And we can certainly change the ratings. So that could be something that actually could be a reward. Like, you could get an exclusive for industry, or you could get, like, super town rating. Can you get exclusive transport rights, though? Oh, I think you can. But it costs. Yeah, the company has to pay for it. The company that has exclusive... Oh, is that get? That's get. So you can find out if a company has exclusive transport rights. But you can't do really anything about it. Oh, perform town action. I think I misclicked. I did. Where's it gone? Town, allowed action, get is city, set growth rate, set goal, cargo goal. Yeah. House count? Maybe the missiles are made out of wood as well. Yeah, exactly. Okay, interesting. I like the thoughts that are coming in here. We are. I do feel like we're getting close to, like, here's a certain number of rewards that you could get. Here's the different sorts of quests we could have. Good evening. What have you missed? We have been looking at the API, so the available functions that we can call and run from a script for OpenTTD. And the idea is that we're going to make some sort of combat battle royale script for OpenTTD. So it's currently under the name of Hellish Royale. And we're thinking of different events that can happen, different quests that people, like the companies, can do, and the rewards for that sort of thing, and sort of fail conditions. So the idea is that maybe once every 5 years, like, if a company's gone bankrupt, they're declared, like, out the game, or if they're in last place, they're eliminated. And we're looking at, like, changing town ratings and whether like vehicles have crashed and things. There's an EMP event which we're planning, which will do things to some vehicles, like it will stop some vehicles. It might remove a vehicle's order, or reverse the vehicle, or send the vehicle to depot. So it just like causes complete haywireness. I don't know if we can find out where a vehicle is, because if a vehicle's near a HQ, that might nullify the EMP effect if it's within a certain range. So we're gonna have to calculate range in OpenTTD. So we're gonna need a function for that. I know it does Manhattan distance, but that's not good enough. So let's have a quick look at vehicle stuff. So you can get a list of vehicles, you can go down there, get the owner, get the name, get location. Okay, there we go. So we can get the location of a vehicle, and we can work out if a vehicle is near a HQ, and if a vehicle's near a HQ, then it's immune to the EMP effect or something like that. What about the event to remove some networks? Now that is a big challenge. So there's certain things we can remove. We can remove town buildings, town roads, and things like trees and rivers, right? We can remove them by bombing the land. But what we can't do is remove company stuff that easily. What we could potentially do is use the GS Rail class, because in here there is a whole things where you can like get a rail, like find out if it's a rail tile, and there's all sorts of different bits and bobs. You can get the type and things. We can also build depots. I don't know why we'd build depots, but there is a remove rail track. Okay. So you can remove, what's the build rail track? Are tiles connected? Build rail. Remove rail. Remove a rail connection between two tiles. Yeah. So I'm not sure which one. I mean, you can build signals and remove signals. We could actually just go around removing random signals. You would need a tile index, I think, to know where a particular signal is. And I think you also have to be in company mode as well. So you have to be, like, the game script can change to company mode, which means it's acting as the company, which means things cost money. Like when you remove and add things, it costs and gets money. But you could go around just deleting random signals. Like, yeah, that could cause crashes as well. So it could cause slowdowns and crashes. It might be that, like, you could have some sort of, like, signal hack device. So if we go back to here, as a reward, instead, like, you've got a missile strike, you could do, like, a signal hack. And, like, it might remove an enemy signal. Like, remove a signal doesn't sound too fun, actually. Yeah. But that's kind of the point of this one. It's the whole idea of this is it's meant to be a bit of a pain in the bum, a fight, a battle. Yeah, remove some depots, maybe. So you could remove track. You could remove. I don't think I want to remove track. Maybe if we are like making the world smaller, we could potentially remove some track around the outside. But we could remove an enemy signal potentially. Yeah. So that's something that could be done. What's this? Get max speed. Max speed of the trains running on this rail type. Oh, we don't want that. So yeah, but I mean, building depots, removing depots could be potentially interesting. There are quite a few different things you could do. And obviously that's just rail. There's road, there is obviously sea and air stuff as well. Yeah. Enemy blows up a bit of track with TNT. I mean, that's kind of what the missile strike is, right? We've got a missile strike, and that's what we can do is we can go and find out the owner of the tile and do that, yeah. You bet the AAA hog won't survive this. I mean, the hog won't do special actions like this. It won't decide to use missile bombardment and stuff like that. But it'd certainly be interesting to see how it reacts. It probably just builds so quick and so effectively that it just works around any sort of bombardment that you do to it. What about some sort of way that you could potentially steal money? Is there any way of setting the vehicle's reliability to 0 randomly? No. We've had a look in the vehicles. We can't set reliability. But we can do things with money, like move money from one company to another company. So we can do money theft, maybe. Like, maybe that can be some sort of event, like money theft. I don't know. Some sort of insider trading, like, yeah, like a spy. Maybe, here we go. Maybe you could pay to get a spy. And then that spy and you choose a company. Maybe steal a train. Stealing a train would be much more difficult because you'd have to send the train to depot, check it got to depot, delete the train. But imagine, I think in the storybook there's buttons, right? So if we had a button next to purchase spy and like it costs you so much money to purchase that spy, but then that spy goes off and tries and steals money from a particular enemy, and it can either fail or not. Fell for crypto scan, lost £4 million. Oh yeah, just imagine that popping up in the news ticker. Yeah. And there's a way you can look at the sign list, and we can take stuff from signs. I like the idea of being able to get a spy in. It wouldn't be an event. It would be like a tool, right? So you have rewards, fail conditions. So there'd be like tools or armory, right? So you could have a spy. And then maybe the spy does like steals money. Or maybe that one removes a signal. And then like you can maybe earn a spy as a reward. Or maybe you can pay for it. Right? And obviously like you can get a missile. Cyber attacks are everywhere now, yeah. You could, yeah. Obviously, you can do like things like bribing the local authority. Can you earn new vehicles extra early? You can make it so vehicles are available or not. Yeah. Have a spy either sabotage or theft. Yeah, I mean, you could get a different thing that isn't a spy. And the spy maybe does like signal things or removes a train order. And then like you could have like a hit team. So, and they're the ones that go out and steal money from somewhere. But the spy might remove an order from a random vehicle or steals a missile. Yeah. The hit team steals monies or missiles. Obviously, we've got to be careful with the currency because in OpenTTD, if you've got a lot of money, it's very easy to make a lot of money, right? So you can get certain teams that will be able to run away with it. So maybe we need our own currency system, and that needs to be in a league table. And you gain currency for quests as well as getting rewards. So if you do a subsidy, maybe you get 10 Hellish points and you get 500,000 in money. But then, like, you want to spy, that's going to cost you 20 Hellish points. Yes, we need a way so the rich person doesn't just win. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Hellish points crypto, yes. Maybe we need a Hellish point system, right? And that the Hellish point system is what the battle runs on. Add an extra currency in the game. I mean, you can just rename your currency. But you don't need a new GRF for the currency. What we can do is just have a league table and put the currency in the league table. And everybody can see the currency. And then we can just add and remove to it. It's the same as a score, right? So that's not a problem. Joke says, make an amount of money stolen with the spy is increased depending on how much money is in a person's account. That's an interesting thought, actually. So maybe not necessarily the amount of money, but like the more company value you have, the more money can be stolen, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, more like a percentage base. Yeah. Like the idea of being taxed by vehicles, so you just can't buy your way out. Interesting. I mean, like a second currency. Yep. Yeah, we can do that. We wouldn't need a GRF. Use the script. You set up a league table. League tables are good for scores, but instead of like score, it'd be currency. And that would just go up and down. That'd be fine. And you can also then have a ranking based on the currency, right? And maybe the fail condition, like at the end of 5 years, is you're the one with the least hellish points. You get eliminated because you spent it all on missiles. Right? Something along those lines. This is a silly thing. Nobody should ever do what we're doing. I misspelt loads of things. I said earlier, joke, don't worry about it. I'll correct the spelling before I save this. It's just too much time. Maybe the league table on how much profit over a certain period rather than total money. Profit over a certain period. That is the operating profit graph, isn't it? The operating profit graph is profit over the last 3 months, isn't it? Comes in quarterly, doesn't it? The operating profit? Yeah. I guess if you can't see the score like an extra resource, then it's probably easier just to make the script to show you in chat. I mean, the league table would show it. So if you wanted to show the score, it would be in the league table. If you didn't want to show the score, it would just be a variable in the script. Biggest company wins. No. Last company wins, Adrian. This is a battle royale, okay? People are going to get knocked out. The idea is you get knocked out. Like, people get knocked out. And the more you get knocked out, the closer towards the end you get. And the closer towards the end, the harder it gets. The more frantic things get. And the more head-to-head things go, right? So it's not a matter... But having a big company may help you win. Also, we're going to need a load of variables and in this. So we're going to be able to say... Sorry, not variables, parameters. So you'll be able to say how quickly the game goes. So you might say, oh, every year somebody gets knocked out. Or you might say every 5 years somebody gets knocked out. Or every 10 years somebody gets knocked out. And we can add that as a parameter and work it into the script. Obviously, there is not going to be a physical missile in the game, right? Where you see a missile come flying in and land, right? It's going to be representative. But what you'll do is you'll say, deploy missile here or something and put it down as a sign. And then, boom, it'll blow up. could be more fun if it's more important what your score is instead of just being profitable. Yes, I think score might be to do it. Yeah. It's a shame we can't use the large UFO for this strike. Yeah, like airstrike from XCOM. Yeah. I think isn't the submarine a nod to XCOM? Yeah. Make a GRF as a missile plane. We are only doing scripts at the moment. We're going to move to GRFs probably after working on this script. So after we've worked on this script, we've got the kind of minimum viable script. What we'll do is we'll move on to do a basic GRF. Something really simple. Maybe like a town names GRF. And then maybe something a little bit further. Like a very simple modification to the industry set or something, and see where things take us. Maybe we end up with a GRF that pairs up with the battle script, and you need the battle script and the battle GRF running both together to have the ultimate OpenTTD Hellish Royale. You never know. I wonder, is this something we can do? Ooh, actually, let's have a look in, is it aircraft? It's not oh, it'll be a vehicle, won't it? Is it just all vehicles? That's vehicle RMS. Oh yeah, vehicle air. Right, build vehicle. Vehicle build disabled. Vehicle wrong depot. Clone vehicle. I'm just wondering, is there anything we can do to vehicles that we haven't looked at yet? Like, if it's an aircraft, can you make it like fall out of the sky or run out of fuel? Get age. All of these are gets. That's the problem. Build vehicle, build will refit, clone, refit. That's something you could potentially do, is you could refit a vehicle to a different cargo type and just not tell them. I think it would probably have to be in depot, right? Is valid vehicle, is valid cargo, must own the vehicle, vehicle must be stopped in depot. Yeah, so it needs to be stopped in depot. Chained orders. Yep, we can do something to change the orders. Get capacity. Yeah, there's not a lot of actions you can do apart from like send to depot and stop on the vehicle side of things. I thought it'd be nice to like set like fuel limits and things like that, but it's not an option. Unfortunately, it's not an option. Right then, folks. I think we have made... I know tonight we haven't really done... Well, we haven't really done any coding, right? Haven't done any coding. But every now and then you need something like this to be able to set forward in motion something which could be quite spectacular, right? I think, if nothing else, this is going to be an interesting experiment from a development standpoint. It could end up being one of the most fun and craziest scripts that OpenTTD has ever seen. So that's quite a spectrum. It could be completely terrible and pointless, but a nice little fun thing to develop. Or it could be an amazing, brilliant script that is actually really good fun to do. We just don't know. It's going to be anywhere on there. But there's been a lot of ideas bouncing around over the last few weeks, especially with last week with all the testing we did. Did you guys all see the test that I did? If we jump over to OpenTTD, which I haven't even got running yet today. How ridiculous is that? Maybe these things can be integrated with your spin the wheel feature. Inkus, there. Right, okay. That's an entirely different idea for a script which I have been working on. The idea that somebody could buy something with Hellish points and then something happens in the game. You might be able to do it using the admin port to send a command, and then the script does something because it sees that command come through on the admin port. How that would happen, I don't know. I'm not quite sure. We did have something, I think, set up for Minecraft like that at one point. You've always liked the idea of a randomizer where each company has a different vehicle to use. Do you mean like transport type or a particular model of vehicle? Yeah. I guess it would have to be manual. No, it doesn't have to be manual. So you could have a website do a particular sort of command. I think it uses Archron. So it would be like an Archron call to a particular server and port. And when that happens, the game script sees the admin command come in and it can do stuff. So yes. Or use signs as commands, yeah. No, all vehicles just in a pool and a company gets one of them. Oh my goodness. Right, so let's go into game scripts. And let's choose... No, not that. We're going to choose the... I can't remember what it was called now. Stat Tracker, just Stat Tracker. It shouldn't be. It should have MH in it. It should have MH to put them all... It was this testing one, right? So this testing script, pretty much all it does right now is shake the screen a lot. So if we go into a new game, there's your earthquake. Yeah. Oh, just each X years you get a new random one. Yeah, you could do something relatively straightforward like that. I can't remember. Oh, there we go. It's finished shaking. That's what that test script did, and that's one of the last things that we were testing last time, which I thought is quite interesting. So, oh yeah, there we go. That one is a headache. Yeah, it does go on a little bit too long. I think if you were doing the event of like an artillery bombardment, you could do just a little bit of it and then blow a couple of things up, and then just a tiny bit more and blow a couple of things up. Or you could have an earthquake, which would be like what just happened, except shorter, I think. It would be shorter. Or maybe you would have a couple of rounds, so it'd be like a tiny one, and then a little bit of a medium one, and then another little tiny one with a bit of a break, rather than just going crazy. Obviously, when there's an earthquake, like you can't do anything with the mouse. You can't like click on things and open windows and stuff. It just doesn't work properly while the screen's shaking around. Can we play with the zoom too? I don't know. Let's have a look. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure that was the viewport move, right? Yeah. So you got scroll 2. There's no zoom. Doesn't look like we have control of the zoom. Yeah. Could the UFO mechanic be used for missiles? No. We don't have access to anything with the UFO mechanics in the API, unfortunately. I think one of the things we do have access to that I haven't had a good look at yet, and this is probably the last thing I really want to have a close look at, is I'm pretty sure you can do game settings somewhere. Yeah, game settings. So you can set the value of a game setting. And it says the setting to set the value of, the value to set the setting to. Right? And no idea what that is meant to be. Minecraft Survive. Hello. Welcome to the end of the stream. So can you do so every time somebody completes a subsidy? That a new one is created immediately? Yeah, you could do that. Yeah. What about adding a damage counter to buildings and then destroying them when they get X amount of ticks? I mean, it's probably... You could potentially do something like that. It seems really overly complicated for... Like, that'd be very detailed for, like, a little random event thing. Like, it'd be good to shake the screen in a certain area and just blow up a couple of buildings, right? Because I think that's effective enough, yeah. You used it in the other script. It allows you to have setting turns on and off as the script is selected. Really? I don't remember changing any game settings. I guess you could make a subsidy-based match, like X amounts of subsidies are completed, someone gets removed. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that we were looking at. So we were thinking of having quests, and there's different sorts of quests, like cargo delivery quests, subsidy quests, build statue quests, all these sorts of different sorts of quests. And when you complete a request, you can get some sort of reward, maybe. Maybe the reward is money, maybe the reward is more loan, maybe you get an exclusive industry. And then, like, you have tools. You could actually, in theory, buy the exclusivity. You could exclusively get an industry by dropping a sign next to the industry and just saying mine. And if you do that, it takes a certain money out of your bank account and then makes the industry yours. You're thinking in terms of the wall closing mechanic. All right, I see. Yeah, I mean, what we can do is we can go around the edge of the world just blowing stuff up and then lowering land. Same as list settings command. You used it in the other script. It allows you to have settings turned on or off as the script is selected. In the stat tracker, you had one called Show New Article? News Article. Oh, hang on a minute. Am I getting confused? Let me have a look at the code. So this was in... Was it in the cargo tracker one? I think it was in the cargo tracker. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, the idea of the cargo to track. Silly me. Someone's thinking about flooding the world. Yes, yes I am, Mike. For some reason, and I don't know what it was, for a moment I thought those game settings were the actual game's settings. Like, you could change the number of vehicles allowed in the game and stuff. I was like, that doesn't make sense because the function doesn't seem to have the parameters to be able to do that job. Yeah. But no, I'm with it now. I know what it's doing. Yeah, we're going to destroy the world. Blow everything up. We have been thinking about a lot of stuff, right? Yeah, parameters are in the game. Yeah, I'm sure we could probably come up with some other events, like we've got an explosive town growth one and the earthquakes and things like that. I like our set of quests, like deliver something to some place. So it could be deliver so much wood to this sawmill. I mean, obviously have a crash or build a statue are a little bit different. But we could expand upon that a little bit. You could do it like... Maybe you could flip that on its head. Deliver Brandon's PC to his house. Oh, poor Brandon. Yeah. What about an event that rolls back the growth of cities? I don't think you can roll it back. We'd have to just blow up buildings. No, Brandon's getting a missile strike on his house. Yeah. But what if you had to cause a company to have a crash? That'd be like the target. So you could either run over their vehicle or get a spy to remove a signal or change the orders or something like that. And the first company that has a crash is then eliminated as a fail condition. Or maybe a fail condition might just be like you've had a crash. Or if multiple companies have had a crash, it's the ones that's killed the most people. Private equity. You could potentially do something like that, maybe. It would be potentially quite complex, but using like league tables and questions and adjusting the money of bank balances, you could probably get equity in other companies and things. Yes. Your company is too dangerous for civilization. Yeah, I actually like had a crash / killed the most people. I think killed the most people might be, because obviously if you're running aircraft, then kill the most people. Fail condition: too many breakdowns or vehicles too old. I don't think there isn't an event for a vehicle broken down, so we can't do that. We can get the age of vehicles, I think. Yeah, you could probably go around and get the age of the oldest vehicles and figure out who's got the oldest vehicle. Something like that. Maybe. So there we go, folks. I think we're going to leave it there for now, right? Remember Spiff's Christmas map. I guess you could add some of this to such a map. Also launch some attacks to the new team. Hinkus Maximus, are you talking about the Yogscast Race for Christmas map? Because me and... is that the map you're talking about? I think it is. Yes, it is. Ah. Well, do you know who made that map? It was me and Gerard. Yeah. Which is why we then actually played the same map on my channel after Christmas, I think. So the whole idea of having good toys and bad toys, and having kind of a Santa team and a Grinch team and all that sort of thing, that was all my idea. And the idea of having the map the way that it is, where you've got a city at one end and then you get more producing higher producing industries the further you get, and you have to get along the edge of the map and all that sort of thing. Putting the text in the middle, that was all things that I worked on and did. And it was something that I put together for Spiff on that side of things. And then Gerard went in and did a fantastic job of making the custom GRF and script required to actually have glittered turds, which I thought was fantastic, and to be able to count the stuff that was done. Now there was a technical issue which we were never able to replicate. Somehow Spiff broke it, but you know, Spiff is Mr. Game Breaker, isn't he? So that wasn't a surprise, I suppose, in some ways. So yeah, that map we've got all the code for that, and the maps. So if we want to have a look at that, we can. So there we go. I think we're going to leave it there, folks. We've done 0 coding tonight, but I feel like we've made a lot of progress. This script, like I said, might be a load of rubbish, or it might just be the best script that anybody's ever seen in OpenTTD. We'll have to see. Okay. So I would like to invite you guys to consider working on parts of this script. So the way that we're doing things at the moment is that we're just coordinating in the thread on the Discord, right? There is a thread for this. And this is way too kind of... it's way too early stages to be able to hand off bits of the code for people to work on. But if somebody wanted to say, for example, write a bit of code which looked for a sign that said missile strike and then deleted or did a bomb command on that location and removed the sign as a section of code that we could then look at bringing into the script later on, that's probably a good sort of thing to do at this time. But coordinate on the Discord for now. We are thinking about adding stuff in GitHub to actually coordinate and stuff like that. And we'll see. We will see how this goes and how much gets done. I will probably do a few bits in between streams. I'm going to get this to-do list, the plans on this. It's not a to-do list, the plans. I'm going to get it spell checked, and then I will save it, and I will commit it to the repo. Okay, folks? So remember, all this code is public. You can go and have a look at it. There is a link to it, I think, on my website, but also in my link tree as well. All right? So if anybody's got any questions, like I said, come over to the Discord for now. That is going to be all for this stream. Remember, Monday we have a brand new Factorio server starting for the Community Gaming Nights. Come across the Community Gaming Night channel if you want to get involved with that. That's going to be really good fun. And that's going to be on the Variety channel, not on this channel. So check that out. Go make sure you get subscribed to the Variety channel. So many of you are so active in this community and enjoy getting involved and the content. And you're missing out because you're not on the Variety channel. There's some extra stuff there. And if I don't see you on Monday, then maybe I will see you next Thursday for another special Settlers 2 live stream. But that's going to be all for now. Thank you much. Thank you very much. So much, everybody. Especially for last night. For those of you who are here, that was a brilliant live stream. Really enjoyed it. Take care, everybody. And I'll see you soon. Good night. Goodbye.